Hey, everybody, come on in, take a seat. Let's get into the things of the things. I'm going to need y'all to lift my 18-year-old up in prayer. I'm getting ready to send him to the oh, not to the king. Okay, well, we're going to, okay, well, all right, well, let's put T. Jones in a good mood, honey, because Lord have mercy. So before we get started, I'm going to say hi to the people. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on down and take a seat. If you are one of my subscribers, my tribe members, my regulars, Tracy, somebody owe me $12. I think that's how much Tasha K's app is. Somebody owe me $12 because that's 2 hours of my life I can't get back. I didn't watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tonight. I ain't watched Miami. I got reviews I gotta do, but I said the tribe wants this. So I'm gonna bring it to the tribe. So y'all made me sit through 2 hours. I did not know. Listen, when I saw that interview was 2 hours long, I said, what? I said, Martel don't even have 2 hours worth of shit to talk about. Tracy, since you want to take credit, you owe me $12. Y'all know I'm joking. Y'all know I'm joking. All right, let's get into my notes, child. Where do they start? Okay, here they start right here. First of all, a lot of it, if you watch the show, a lot of the information you knew. They talked about the fact that him and Mel met in college. They talk about they met at an education class. They talk about the fact that both of them were teachers. And Tasha K was like, oh, I didn't know you were a teacher. See, that's the stuff that people don't know about you. Anybody who watches the show knows that Martel was a teacher. Tasha K, girl, stop. Now, she said she had talked to Bondi. I'm sure she talked to Bondi to get a crash course on Love and Marriage Huntsville, because we know Tasha ain't watched the show. And I'm okay with that. Like, I ain't about to sit here and say that she got to watch 5 seasons of this TV show. But, girl, don't be sitting talking about oh, nobody knows that. Yes, they do. We all know. Most of what Martel said, we know. Girl, 2 people who can't pay their legal bills. All right. So I'll be honest with you. I walked away with a couple of things. The first thing I walked away from this interview was I honestly feel like Martel did this interview to try to advocate for Arion to get on the show. Because honestly, if he was going on this show to clear his name, he didn't really do a good job of it. But we know that Martel, thank you, KK. We know that Martel isn't good at, like, Martel talks himself, he'll start good and then he'll talk himself right back into something. The second thing, and I get it, Tasha. Girl, I get it. I get Tasha. You had to get people to tune in. So she dropped this whole thing this morning or earlier today, like a trigger warning type situation. Oh, I can't put this on YouTube. I got to put it behind my paywall. It's not safe. And these things I can't show on YouTube. And she really made it seem like she had some graphic, violent. Girl, the receipts were not receipting. Okay? The receipts were not receipting. And we'll get to that because I'm going to go down my notes. Tracy, thank you, Tracy. She said, you said no. I told you to give T or Scotty the login. Child, T and Scotty ain't even need to log in because I don't know what she put on YouTube, but all that she was trying to make it seem like, oh, I can't show this on YouTube. You gotta go. Child, that was. I'm gonna tell y'all what it was. We're gonna get there in a second. So I'm gonna go through my notes. First thing they were talking about, he was saying how Arion should be on the show. That was one of the. That is my very first note. My very first note that I wrote down was that he said Arion should be on the show. He said basically they've made Arion the they make Arion the talk of conversation from day one, and that she should be on the show. That's one of the first things he said. What's up, kiss my cheeks? Hey, boo. He said that he takes care of Arion, and he always have, and he always will. Again, these are the notes. These are the first. I'm not saying it's the first thing Martel said, because again, a lot of the background stuff I knew. And if you're a fan of the show or you watched the show for even one season, you knew. Like I said, you knew they met in college. He talked about when he was a kid. He talked about how he was a delinquent in school. We know that. We know he was a bad kid. I hate using the term bad when describing children, but okay, he was a bad kid. You know, he was in trouble. He said on the show that sports and being in ROTC saved him, and that's what turned his life around. Like a lot of that stuff we knew already. So now he said they don't live together. Time up, love. Tasha asked about it. Tasha said, "So y'all live together?" He said, "No." Tasha was like, "Well, she spends a lot of time at your house. She got a drawer with her clothes in it." And he was like, "Yeah, but you know, she don't live there." But child, y'all know Martel. Y'all know how Martel don't have a good relationship with the truth. So in Martel's mind, maybe in his mind, he justified that she don't live there. Child, I don't know. He said that Tasha K said something about him having two families. He said he don't have two families. He got one family. And Tasha K really tried to get him to understand. No, you don't. You don't have two families. I mean, you don't have one family because Melody and Arion are not. They can't be in this. Like you don't have one big happy family, Martel. You have your children with your wife, your ex-wife, and you have your child with your side piece. Those are not the same. That's not one family. And they ain't never gonna be one family. He was like, but I'm one father. In his like Martel's thought process is just it's always been crazy, and it still is. Um, and for those who know me, I know some of y'all might be new to me or don't know because I stopped watching reviewing the show. I am not a mellow meter. I think that Melody got some shit with her too. But ultimately Martel, I think, is an ass. Okay. Tasha asked him, did he cheat on his girlfriends in like high school or whatever? He said he never cheated on his girlfriends. This mother freaker had the nerve to say he's a one woman man. Yeah, if you think Martel Holt, that I believe that Melody Rogers, whatever her new name is it Rogers, is the only woman you have ever cheated on? Sir, I had a piece of swamp land in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to sell you. He talked about getting arrested. He said that he went to the courthouse to get some documents, probably some paperwork to harass Mel. And he said, when he said he had his kids in the car, that's not the funny part. He said he had his kids in the car. He said, I was just running in the courthouse. I just dropped my daughter off at tennis practice. I had my son and my other kids in the car. And I ran into the courthouse to pick up a document. And the clerk said, wait a minute. Mr. Holt, somebody needs to talk to you. And he said that's when they were like, you got a warrant. And they arrested him. He said, well, my kids are outside in the car. They had to call his mother to come up there and get the kids. Now, here is where Martel likes to play. He likes to throw the rock and hide the hands. I don't even watch the show anymore, and I know how this whole thing went down. He was like, well, I sent Melody this text message, and he tried to make it sound so innocent. He said, I was mad at her because she had been talking, so much shit about me. So I just texted her. He said it was a long text. I don't even know what it is, but I texted her and I said, stop talking ish about me. He said, and I sent her a picture. I don't even know what the picture was. I deleted it out my phone. I would show it to you, but I don't even have it anymore. He claimed he deleted the picture because Arion saw it, and so he deleted the picture. Again, if you think that I believe that you deleted that picture, that you sent Mel, again, I got some swampland in the middle of Alaska to sell you, sir. Like, stop playing with me. But we all know, for those of us who follow the sequence of events, we all know that you sent that text message as a threat to Melody, that if she didn't stop talking about you or doing whatever it is you wanted her to stop doing, that you were going to release this. And that picture was a screenshot from the video. Now, he claims there is no sex tape. I don't believe that either, because Arion said there was. Okay, she said she saw it. Now, he said, I sent her that text message. She waited 6 months to file a complaint. Yeah, she waited until your dumbass girlfriend did an interview with, what's that lady name? All About the Tea, or what's the lady name that released the audio of them? Yeah, Melody filed a complaint after she had proof that you did have the X tape and that you were threatening to release the X tape. Straight no chaser. Thank you, Lance Blair. So we know why Mel waited, quote unquote, waited to to go press charges, because now she had proof that was your intent. You see what I'm saying? See, stop playing with us, Martel. Don't make it seem like, oh, Melly didn't, she just sat on it for 6 months. I sent her the text and she didn't do anything about it. No. Once she had the proof of your intent on why you sent her that text message, yes, then she went and she filed charges. Stop playing in my face. I don't even follow the show no more, but of course, that was all over the damn internet. And Mel went live, and Mel said on the live, calling my lawyer. Because she now had the proof from your own girlfriend's mouth, you dummy. And yes, he did admit to deleting. He said that he don't have a picture anymore, which is, again, a lie. Because so you kept the text message, but you deleted the picture? Because Tasha K read the text message. It wasn't important enough for me to write down what it said. But you deleted the picture? Sir, really? And you allege that there is no sex tape. Well, if there's no sex tape, where you get the picture from? Either you got the picture from a sex tape, or you have a picture of you and your ex-wife in an intimate setting, which is still the same concept. Were you going to release that? And you even said in the text message that Tasha K read, I'm paraphrasing because I didn't write down word for word, but you even said in the text message that you sent Mel, leave me alone, or I'm going to put all of our business out there and it'll make me look bad, but I'm tired of it. So what was that threat about? I'm going to put it all out. It'll probably make me look bad too, but I don't care anymore. Again, that's a paraphrase, but that's basically what he said. Stop playing with me, Martel Holt, Cleophas Holt. All right, I just said all of that. I'm just making sure I say everything that's in my notes, child. So then Tasha K showed these receipts. So that first text message, I guess, was supposed to be, because that's the only text message she read. Now, she did say she was dropping a part 3 on Friday, but let's be clear, child, I don't care. I don't care what she dropped on Friday. Nobody cares. I don't care what you dropping on Friday. Okay. But she read that text message, and then she showed 3 different videos of Mel allegedly being violent towards Martel. Now, Martel said that he never put his hands on Mel. They even played a clip of when Melody did her interview with Dr. Heavenly, where she said that Martel never put his hands on her, and how she basically alluded to the fact that if anybody was violent in the relationship, it was her. So they showed the first video. I will say that first video, Mel did have a bat, and you could see when Mel was trying to hit him with the bat. You could tell they were arguing, and you could tell by the hairdo that was from like the first season around that time. If you watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, the first season, you remember Mel had that blonde, like short bob situation. That was her hairdo in that first video that they showed. But then in the second video they showed, you could tell. Remember during I don't remember the timeline, y'all, but for those of y'all that follow the show, y'all know what I'm talking about. Remember when Melody filed the lawsuit saying that Martel stole money out of her bank account, that the account was supposed to be whatever it was, and allegedly Martel stole the money out of her bank account? Y'all remember that? I don't remember what the resolution was, because honestly, I didn't follow it that closely, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That is the video. You could tell because Melody was like, put the money back, put my money back, put the money back, put the money back. And Martel was like, that money was supposed to be, what do you mean your money? That was our money. That money was supposed to be split 50-50. And Melody is telling him, put my money back. Stop playing with my money. And she had, I think it was lighter fluid. It was either lighter fluid or bleach. I don't remember what. I mean, I couldn't make it out in the video. And again, I wasn't going to keep rewinding it. But she was spraying it all over the house. Like she was squirting it. So that's why I think it was lighter fluid. Don't quote me on that part. But she was squirting it all over the house. She was squirting it on the furniture. He was like, Mel, stop. You ruining, you gonna ruin the couch. He was playing all like it was a joint account, so she couldn't recoup it. Okay. So you could tell, what's up, Nay? You could tell that is what that was about. So I'm gonna be honest with you. If I went to my bank account and it was zero, and you had taken all the money out of my bank account, I mean, I might have been throwing the lighter fluid on you. I'm just saying. So that was the second video. And do y'all want to know what the third video was? The third clip they showed. The third clip they showed was the clip on the show where Mel threw the glass at him the first time when we saw them at the couple when they were at Mel. What's the lady's name? Nell and her husband. Remember that scene where Mel had those ugly blonde braids and she threw the drink at him and the glass broke. Remember that? So you mean to tell me that the Fletchers, thank you, y'all. You mean to tell me that these receipts, those are the receipts that you talk about? I can't put it on YouTube. It's too explosive. And that's what y'all thought. And I'm going to be honest. I was waiting for more. Now, again, she said she got more, that she'll drop more on Friday. Child, nobody care, Tasha. You should have dropped all that shit tonight. If you had more that was more explosive than that, you should have went on and dropped it. Don't nobody care that much about Martel. Like, tonight was what she was going to get. Who going back? I'm not. So then Tasha tried to get him to talk about, well, what first attracted you to Mel? What blah, blah, blah. And he wouldn't do it. He said, He said, you ain't about to sit here and get me to say nice stuff about Melody. I'm not doing it. He was like, F that. She just got me arrested. I ain't about to sit here and talk about what attracted me to her and what I loved about. I ain't doing that. So he would not, like, he was doing everything in his power to not say anything positive about Mel. Nothing. Nothing. He said he feels like production is geared towards making Mel look good. He said even down to making other cast members say stuff to create a positive narrative about Melody. He said that he was the one that took Mel to court to get the kids off of social media. Mel wants them back on social media, so she's taking him back to court about being able to put them back on social media. He talked about the child abuse charges. And again, he's not saying anything new. He talked about the fact that, yes, he spanked his son, but no, he didn't abuse his son. He said that he went 50, whatever, how many days without his son because when this happened, it was during, COVID. And so all of the court cases were backed up. Um, he said that now what he did say was he had filmed a scene with his attorney accusing Melody. Remember when he kept talking about Melody having all of these babysitters? He said it was right after he filmed that scene. And he said, I'm pretty sure I know who told Melody what I said. But it seemed like almost as soon as I said that, next thing I know, Melody was filing these child abuse charges against me. Sir, you literally. Here's the part, y'all. He said, y'all want to hear this funny part? Y'all want to hear this part that's funny? He said, if they never did the show, he believes that him and Mel will still be together. That is how I know that this man is truly delusional. You really believe that if y'all had never done this show, you and Mel would still be together. Okay. All right. I think they would have eventually divorced. Now, I think because remember, you guys, they were separated. Remember, they were separated. They weren't even living together when the show got picked up. They weren't living together. Remember that? Remember, Mel had her own place. They got back together for the show. Now, do I think that they would have eventually gotten divorced? Yes. I don't know what that would have looked like, though. I don't know what that would have looked like. But I do think they would have eventually gotten divorced. I don't know what it would have looked like, though. I will say that. Um because again, I think people forget that part that they were not together when the show got picked up. He said On did not do Arion right. He said Arion was promised that she was going to be on the show and that she actually was paid. Remember when they had her voice on the show? He said that she was actually supposed to be on the show that season, but and they actually paid her. He said they actually paid her well. But then they ultimately decided not to have her on the show, and he felt like that OWN is doing her wrong because they talk about her every season, yet they won't let her be on the show. He said that Mel knew that he was cheating when the show started, but he did not know that she was cheating when the show started. Here's the next part that let me tell y'all something. This next part that I'm getting ready to tell y'all is the reason why I knew from season 1. The reason why I knew from this point forward that Martel won't right. Do y'all remember, those of you that have been watching this show from the beginning, do y'all remember at Maurice and Kimmy's wedding when Mel and Martel went upstairs on the top of that boat and they were arguing? And Martel called Arion his girlfriend? Y'all remember that? And then Melody was like, your girlfriend, and he sort of caught itself and then he switched it up. But remember, he called Arion his girlfriend. He said his girlfriend. I knew then. I said, oh, this ain't this. His thought process ain't right. Tasha K said, I don't remember the exact sentence, but she referred to Arion as his side bitch. She said something. You know, you did all of this. Something along the lines of you were doing all this the whole time you had a side bitch. It was something along those lines. But she used those exact words, side, bitch. Baby Martel said she wasn't no side bitch. She was never that. She was my woman. She was my other woman. Like, he got indignant. He got indignant when Tasha K referred to Arion as his side bitch. Baby, I said, oh. He said that was his girl. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, she was the peasant the next season. The next season, she was the peasant. But that season, I was girl. I said, so you still don't understand the problem with that, sir? Here we are 5 years later, and you still don't understand that that was a damn problem that you referred to this woman, and to this day, even now, you ain't even married to Melody no more. Even now, you still won't allow. She wasn't a. She was your side. She was, and not even side. He didn't say she was my side. He said she was my other woman. Sir, that's a problem because there ain't supposed to be no other nothing when you are married. There's no other to that. And Tasha even asked him. Tasha said, "So are you just not a monogamous person? Like, would you be happy in that type of a relationship where you have more than one wife or more than one girlfriend?" Like, and Tasha even gave him an out. She said, listen, there's nothing wrong with that as long as everybody understands their place. Like, if you say you want to have more than one girlfriend, as long as the two girlfriends are in on it and they know what's up, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But do you think that that is what you would be happy with? And he was like, no, I'm a one woman man. No, you literally just told us you were not a one woman man. You literally just told us that, sir. No, you're not a one woman nothing. Oh, well, Universal Love, he said that our Arion was the only one. He said he never had that he never had another woman. I know Mel said it ain't true, and I don't believe it either. I believe that Martel absolutely had stepped out more than once. Absolutely, he did. There's nothing anybody's gonna tell me to convince me that Martel ain't sleep with somebody other than Arion. No, none, not zip, zilch, zero. But I put that in my notes. Arion was not a side bitch. The other woman, that's my girl. That's what he said. I put that in parentheses. That's my girl. And see, I wrote that right there in my notes. said he's a one-woman man. It's in my notes, y'all. Because I was like, I don't believe this bullshit. It was in my notes. He said his household never changed. He said that he still bought Mel flowers and he still did this and he still did that. Now that's one thing Mel did say. Mel said that. She said that because she said, I don't understand. Because it never, she said he never, she did say that. And then he said, he was like, I always came home. And Tasha said, you never spent the night out? And he wouldn't say no. He said, I always came home, Tasha. I always came home. And he sort of smiled. Boy, bye. I know for a fact that you spent the night out. You know how I know? I done told y'all this. If you're new to my channel, you don't know what I'm about to tell you. But if you ain't new to my channel, y'all know what I'm about to tell you. One of my really good friends used to date one of Martel's friends. And I know for a fact your ass stayed out sometime. Sir. That's how I know that Mel knew about the affair before the show even started. Long before y'all knew. See, when I was trying to tell y'all these things back in season 1, I was telling y'all that Mel knew. I told y'all that Mel knew. Now, when it came out, everybody was like, oh, she knew. I told y'all she knew. But I digress. He said that he thinks that the reason why Mel doesn't want Arion on the show is because she's scared that Arion would take the spotlight from her. Said Arion is a good mother. I wrote it in my notes right here. I'm just reading y'all my notes. I wrote in my notes. He kept bringing up head, oral, oral sex, relationship. He kept bringing it up. Now, if you watch the show, you know that that was what he threw at Mel every chance he got about why he cheated because she wouldn't do this and she wouldn't do that. But he kept. Now he threw the other stuff. Oh, she stopped cooking. Oh, she stopped doing this. Oh, she stopped doing that. But if I had $1 for every time he brought up her not giving him oral pleasure, I could pay for the next 5. Well, I'm exaggerating. I could probably pay for the next 2 months of the Tasha K subscription. Now, I will give Martel credit for one thing and one thing only in this interview. The one thing I will give Martel, and I wrote it in my notes, the one thing I will give Martel Holt credit for is Tasha K tried. She tried 3, 4, 5 different times. She worded the questions 3, 4, 5 different ways. She tried to get Martel to snitch. And I say snitch as if there's something to tell. She tried to get Martel to talk about the other guys and whether they had cheated. She tried to get Martel to talk about the Scotts and whether they had cheated, and he wouldn't do it. Now that I will give him credit for. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Now, I mean, did he sort of wink a little bit? A little bit. But he still didn't really say nothing. He didn't put like this. He didn't say anything that would bring new information that we hadn't already heard. Like Tasha brought up the Atlanta trip. And he was like, what about it? Well, Melly, I don't watch the show anymore. I'm only talking about the interview. I'm only talking about on this interview. Now, whether he said it, I know he said it on the show because him and Mel both said it, but I'm talking about in the interview, he would not. She tried to get him to give, details on what the Scotts did, and he wouldn't do it. Now, I give him credit for that. I mean, I know he has said things in the past, and so has Mel, but he wouldn't do it on here. She tried to get him to bring it up. She tried to talk. She asked him. She even said something that I thought was so ignorant. Tasha K, even when she's not trying to be homophobic, I think she makes problematic statements. Like she said, well, men don't go on trips by themselves to be with each other. I mean, there has to be, and I mean, unless they trying to be together, no man, no group of men are going to go on trips together. Men go on guys trips all the time and do guy shit. They go fishing. I have friends that literally they love to fish. They go fishing. It is not an orgy. It is not an excuse to go be with other women. They literally are fishing. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't got no reason to lie to me because I'm not their woman. I'm not dating them. And hell, I don't even know who they women. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no reason to lie to me. Like men, right? Men go honey. Like now, do men, make excuses to cheat? Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. You know what I'm saying? But to allude to the fact that if a group of men go on a trip, they either A, are doing it as an excuse to cheat on their women, or B, they doing it as an excuse to be together. I just think that's the kind of shit that Tasha K says that irritates me. Because she wasn't joking, she was dead ass serious. Because I think she dead ass believes that. And it's just not true. It's just not true. And I mean, if you believe that, then that's your belief, but it's not true. Okay. Anyway. Again, do men do it? Yes, men do all kinds of shit. But let's be clear, men don't have to make up no excuse to cheat. Hell, Martel is an example of that. Men walk right out the front door and cheat on their wives all the time. But for her to just make it seem like that's the only reason why a group of guys would go out of town together, I'm like, come on, Tasha. Like, anyway. Okay. Tasha tried to bring up, she was very what's the word? She was very careful about it, but she basically brought up whether that fourth baby, if Martel ever questioned whether the fourth baby was his, and we know he did. We have the documents where he questioned whether that fourth baby was his. And again, he said, no, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby. I mean, she don't look like me. She looked like her mama, but she mine. Well, I mean, all my kids look just like me except for her. I mean, she looked just like her mama, but she mine. And even if she not mine, she mine. So then Tasha brought up the permit situation, the builder's license situation. Basically, what Martel said was the reason why Melody took his name off the building permit is because he threatened to sue the lawyer. Now, the lawyer that he says that Mel cheated on him with, their attorney, his frat brother. Anyway, he said he threatened to sue the attorney for alienation of affection. You remember what Nene got sued for and what Fantasia got sued for back in the day. He said he threatened to sue him. I guess Alabama has a version of that type of law. So he threatened to sue the attorney. So when he threatened to sue the attorney, and he said he also told the attorney's wife or girlfriend that they were having an affair, that Mel and him were having an affair. He said that's when Mel took his name off of the permits. And then, of course, then he became the victim. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you take food off the table? Why would you stop me from being able to take care of my kids? I mean, that was just, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Overcomer, baby, I know. I'm just telling you what Martel said, baby. I know. They dissolved the business. Like, and at the end of the day, even if she did, she had every right to do that. I wouldn't want to still be in business with you. Shit. So he said that's when he showed up at the house when they were filming. Remember when they talked about that on the reunion, not this reunion, but the last reunion, where they said Martel showed up at the house, and that's when he got into it with Mel's makeup artist. They I don't think it was a physical altercation, but they were cussing each other back. They got into a verbal altercation, and Martel was tearing the place up. Remember when I believe that's when Melody was filming for when she was doing that show on about relationships and love. I forget the name of it. he claimed that the reason why he went down there and acted a fool is because Mel said she was going to put his name back on the permit and she didn't. And he said the house where they were filming was in his name. His name was on the lease. And so he was like, well, fuck it. If you ain't going to put me back on the permits, then all this shit is shut down. You know, my name is on the lease. You ain't about to, behind every man, thank you. You ain't about to sit here and film in a house where my name is on the lease. So all of this shit is shut down. And he said that Mel called the police and Mel called Carlos. And he said that's what happened. That's why he showed up acting a fool that day. Child, I'm just reading y'all my notes, honey. I'm just reading y'all my notes. He didn't know what the word ensemble means. When they were talking about when they were trying to shop the show to Carlos, and Carlos told them that it would be easier for him to sell it if it was an ensemble cast. He said he didn't know what that meant. He didn't understand what that meant. Mel had to explain to him what he was talking about. I just thought I would throw that in there. He said he wouldn't. Tasha asked him would he marry Arion. He wouldn't say that he would marry her. He said, you know, basically they really just started dating like 2 years ago. He said, you know, all that other time doesn't count. So the time that she was your side bitch, that don't count. You only counting the time from, I guess, within the last 2 years that y'all are together. So I wrote in my notes. I wrote in my notes, basically admit Sheree relationship was a fake. Because he said he been with Arion for the past 2 years. So if you've been with Arion for the past 2 years, you couldn't have been with Sheree. So then Tasha, and they hadn't brought Sheree up. Like this was the end of the interview. Like these are the that's my next to last note is about the Sheree thing. And honestly, I was getting ready to click it off because it was only like maybe 6 minutes left in the interview. And I was like, okay, that's pretty much it. They wrapping it up. Like Martel was standing up. He wasn't even on the mic anymore when she brought up Sheree. And then that's when Martel was like, she said, well, you admitted to me it was business. And he was like, what you mean, Tasha? You being messy, Tasha. I never said that. I never said that. She said, I called you and you said that you and Sheree were friends. And he said, yeah, but I didn't say nothing about it being business. And she said, well, Mel said that you said that to her too. You said it was business. So he tried to, again, he caught himself then. And then he was like, well, you know, I mean, we was friends, but we was sleeping together. He said Fucking. But he said we were friends, but we were sleeping together. I mean, that was more than business. That's more than business. She was like, oh, so y'all was sleeping together? Yeah, yeah. I said, oh, he caught himself. But he had admitted, first of all, they hadn't even brought up Sheree's name. And this whole conversation, Sheree's name never came up, number one. And number two, when Sheree's name did come up, I mean, you said that you and Arion have been together for the last 2 years. Never brought up Sheree. Never said, well, you know, I was dating somebody else, so me and her. No, you Tasha brought Sheree's name up, and then you had to sort of back it up on it, back it up. And she said, well, what happened between you and Sheree? I mean, you know, we just kind of moved on. You know, she doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. I mean, we didn't fall out or anything. You know, we just kind of, both of us kind of moved on. Yeah. Honestly, like I said, I feel like his only purpose for doing this interview was to try and advocate for Arion because he said more good shit about Arion than he did about clearing his own name. Honestly, he talked about Arion, and I mean, honestly, I really didn't. The only thing I learned that was new, and again, Martel lied so much, I can't believe. I really don't believe none of what he says. But the only thing that I halfway believe might be true is he said that Arion was supposed to be on the show. I still don't believe that though, because I believe he was trying to force the issue. But I don't believe that Carlos ever agreed to bring her on that show. I don't believe that. Now, I've stopped watching the show and I don't follow it like that. So if Carlos admitted that or something, I just don't know. I didn't hear that. He was being petty because he got arrested. Probably. He said that Mel got him. He said it's like the 6th time she done got me arrested, but he could only talk about one other instance. He talked about one other game. He only was able to give Tasha one other example. You know, Kia, I don't put anything past Carlos either. But again, I just never saw. I never saw any. Again, I don't follow it like that. What about the lady who bought him land in her name and who posted his kids online? Right. He didn't bring none of that up either. Time up, love. Didn't bring none of that up. So ultimately, you guys, I don't know what she posted on YouTube versus what was behind the paywall. I watched the interview that was behind the paywall. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If you watch the show and you follow, the things that are going on about the show, you really didn't learn nothing new. Honestly, you didn't. Honestly, it wasn't no big, which is what I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna be honest with you. Curiosity got me because I said, well, maybe he said something I want to hear, but he didn't. He did. I could have been watching the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Hell, I could have had a V8 child. There was a lot of other things I could have been doing with my evening. Dispute the charge and get my money back. Well, Tracy took care of me, y'all. Tracy did. Now listen, y'all know I normally don't even I don't even normally bring it up. Oh, you did? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Adams. Miss Adams took care of me too. Okay, we took care of next month too. Wait a minute, Nisi. Ooh, Nisi, I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you anyway. Nisi said she might have something, child. I had to find out what it is first. I don't want to say it out loud. I gotta find out what it is first. It was you, Tracy. It was you. Child, it wasn't no receipts. I already went over the receipts. It wasn't none. Child, Tasha showed 2 videos of Melody allegedly being aggressive. I wouldn't even use the word abusive. Aggressive towards him. And she read the text message that we already know. We've already heard the text message. Because I think Mel read it when she went live after the Straight No Chaser interview. I think Mel read that text message. So again, now she said she had more receipts to drop on Friday, but child, Tasha, you should have shot your load tonight because ain't nobody coming back on Friday. Not after them duds. Ain't nobody coming back. I know I'm not. Because if it's that big of a bombshell, somebody will talk about it and I'll find out about it. But that's a wrap. Tasha, you got all the attention out of me you're going to get this week. We did the Kevin Hart thing, and now this, child. That's it. I don't have nothing else for Tasha this week. Okay? Kia, you know I love y'all. He doesn't even have EB credit anymore, so no, the bird won't be on the show. Mel still had EB credit in the IMDb. Yeah. Yep, Deborah. I didn't miss much on Beverly Hills. Okay, Brandon. Thank you, boo. So anyway, guys, that's it, y'all. I'm about to get off of here. I'm gonna head on over to Oliver. Oliver, for those who watch Chasing Atlanta, Oliver's going live tonight. He's gonna have an open panel. So I'm gonna be over there in a little while. So if you are a Chasing Atlanta person, y'all meet me over there. Okay. I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.